everything unfolding is counterterrorism and foreign policy expert Lisa Daftari, and also chief editor of the Middle East Forum and retired Army Special Forces Jim Hansen. Jim, I'm going to start with you. You and I did TV over at Fox for many years. I can't believe we're going to do this again, because back then it was ISIS, and back then it was Al-Qaeda, and now it's Hamas. Lloyd Austin said Iran had no involvement. Do you buy that?
Even Lloyd Austin isn't dumb enough to actually believe Iran was not behind this. Hamas is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Iranian regime, and they would not do anything of this magnitude without not just the approval, but the planning involvement and almost certainly execution involvement by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps.
What do you say, Lisa? Would you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely. I think the United States is trying its best to create daylight between itself and this narrative that the Iran regime was not involved, because the United States itself, for the last 3 years under the Biden administration, has done everything to empower Iran's regime, going back to the nuclear negotiating table several times, trying to beg them for a deal, loosening sanctions where Iran has now had $60 billion in oil sales. And of course, the prisoner exchange in which they got a $6 billion bonus. And of course, they want to just talk about the $6 billion. It really is not even relevant. We could put the $6 billion aside. They have billions of dollars that we have helped them obtain, and they are spending it. And the United States has done a great job at the podium in supporting Israel. But my question to Blinken, to Biden, to Lloyd Austin would be, what will you do next with regards to changing, making a complete about-face with regards to your Iran policy?
What about that, Jim? President Obama sent $150 billion over to Iran in pallets and cash in his C-130 transport. Now $60 billion in oil sales have somehow slipped through their fingers, and now $6 billion in humanitarian aid. I mean, we are financing Iran's terror wings. Is that a fair assessment?
100%. Secretary Blinken can go ahead and make the absurd statement that none of this money will be spent on terrorism. But anybody with an above room temperature IQ knows that money is fungible. This money is a replacement for other funds. So Iran got a green light to do it. They have done it. And we should not forget that the Qataris host one of the senior leaders of Hamas, who is making statements calling for jihad from Doha. So the idea that giving the money to the Qataris, our supposed allies, is a way to avoid terrorism being done. The Qataris are only second to Iran as far as being state sponsors of terrorism.
And Lisa, the chanting, listen, every time I talk about this or put up the video of chanting in the Palestinian parliament of death to Israel, death to America, the left comes and says, oh, that's not fair. Is it fair that they would like to see death to America in Palestine?
What's interesting is, Eric, I have spent this morning interviewing parents in the United States, Los Angeles, New York, Miami, other cities, that will not be sending their children in the United States to school tomorrow because Hamas has announced a day of rage. They are trying to terrorize us here in the United States. And the left or the White House or whomever it is wants to sanitize the narrative that Hamas is all about a two-state solution, a blockade, human rights. Nothing will stop them until they have every Jew dead. And it's not just Jews, by the way. They are against every minority. They are against Christians. They are against every non-believer who will not fold under the flag of Hamas.
Yeah, and if you're not an Islamist, then you're the devil. You're against them. Jim, very quickly, not a lot of time. Are we going to see our American hostages back? And if so, how would that happen?
We all have to hope that those negotiations will be successful, but we also have to face the reality that we're dealing with barbaric savages who will kill these people on video for the absolute terror it will strike into the hearts of families everywhere before they will trade them in any kind of reasonable deal. We can't trust them. And we need to act in ways that ensure that Hamas is dismantled, destroyed, removed, and never again they or any Islamist group allowed to fester on Israel's border.
Gotta leave it there. I'm going to keep Lisa Daftari and Jim Hansen on speed dial because this isn't over, folks. Thank you both for being here.